Now that we know how to solve 1 and 2 step inequalities, we're ready to solve multi-step linear inequalities. So what's the goal? Well, it's the same goal from our equations, and that is to isolate the variable. Some reminders: if you multiply or divide by a negative, you better remember to flip the inequality sign. And when we solve equations or inequalities, make sure that you are moving your variable terms before you move the constants. So use your same steps from solving multi-step equations. We want to simplify both sides. We want to get our variables together, and then we solve. Okay, let's get started. Question 1. 3x plus 12 minus 9x is less than or equal to negative 9. So first we want to look for any like terms on the same side, and I see I have 3x minus 9x on the left, and so 3x minus 9x is negative 6x. Keep the plus 12 and everything else. All right, I've simplified both sides, so I'm ready to solve. My x's are already together, so I can subtract 12 on both sides. Negative 6x is less than or equal to a negative 21. And then I divide both sides by a negative 6. Oh, I'm dividing by negative 6. So make sure we remember to flip the sign. And then here I'm going to simplify this fraction. So a negative divided by negative is positive, so the negatives kind of cancel out. 21 and 6 have what common factor? 3. So I get 7 halves. So x is greater than or equal to 7 halves. And now we have to graph it. So last lesson we made our own number line, so I could just put the fraction wherever I wanted. This time they've given us a number line that's going by ones, and we have to plot 7 halves. So let me just mark it down. So there's 0, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and then there's 4. And it keeps going. 7 halves. So this would be the only time where you might want to think about mixed numbers. So 7 halves, well, 6 halves is 3 with 1 more half. So we can remember that that would be the same as 3 and a half. Again, 8 halves would be 4, 6 halves is 3, so I need to be between 3 and 4. Now this is an equal to, so I want a closed circle in between 3 and 4, pointing to the right. Next we have 5x minus 7 times x plus 1 is greater than a negative 9. So I've got some simplification to do on the left. I'm going to distribute, and again, make sure you distribute negative 7, not just 7. So 5x minus 7x minus 7 is greater than a negative 9. I've got some like terms. 5x minus 7x is negative 2x. And now I have my x's together. I'm going to solve. Plus 7 on both sides. Negative 9 plus 7 is a negative 2. Divide both sides by negative 2. I'm dividing by another negative. So make sure you flip the sign. And negative divided by negative is a positive 1. So on your number line, you just have to find the 1. And I want an open circle here, pointing to the left. Our next problem is negative 3. X minus 3 is greater than or equal to 5 minus 4x. So I simplify both sides. On the left, I can distribute. Negative 3x, negative times a negative is plus 9. And there's nothing to simplify on the right side. I do have x's on both sides though, so we want to make sure I move all my variables together first before I start moving the 9 or the 5. I'm going to choose to add the 4x on both sides. That'll also make it easier for me to graph if the x's are on the left, plus this works out pretty nice. So x's cancel over here. Negative 3 plus 4 is just 1x. So I can just write x plus 9 is greater than or equal to 5. And now that my x's are together, I can get x by itself by subtracting 9. And x is greater than or equal to a negative 4. So on my number line, I find negative 4, and I want a closed circle pointing to the right. Last one is 3 times x plus 1 minus 9 is less than a negative 2 times x plus 7 plus 3x. So lots to simplify here. On the left side, I'll start by distributing to get 3x plus 3, and then keep that minus 9 is less than, and then I'm going to distribute this negative 2 to get negative 2x minus 14, and then keep that plus 3x. I've also got some like terms now on the same side. 3 minus 9 is going to be a negative 6. And on this side, I have a negative 2x plus 3x. 3 minus 2 is just a single x minus 14. I have x's on both sides, so now I need to get them on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 1x on both sides. So that goes away. 3x minus 1x is 2 x's. I will add 6 on both sides now that all my x's are together. 2x is less than, and a negative 14 plus 6 is going to be a negative 8. And then last, we divide both sides by 2, and x is less than negative 4. Again, we don't flip the sign here because even though there is a negative number, I'm dividing by a 2, which is not negative, so don't flip the sign. So just find negative 4 on your number line here, and I will want an open circle pointing to the left.